Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and today on the recommendation of some people who wanted a Master League wish list, here is the Master League wish list. Master League, of course, for PES 2015, which will most likely be coming out probably end of September, start of October, sometime around that time. Anyway, let's get into this straight away, but basically, at the start, I'm going to talk about stuff which was in PES 2013 Master League, which should definitely be coming back, and then basically new things which I personally want, and maybe my majority of probably other people probably want it as well. But anyway, if I remember correctly, the following were all in PES 2013. Realistic transfer fees for players, that's ridiculous, like you could buy like Jack Wilshere for like 2 million and then pay him like 10 million over monthly, yearly wages instead of just making it weekly wages. But anyway, so realistic transfer fees for players. Real training, not just team training, but individual training. You should be able to train your players. It shouldn't just be like, yeah, just get this dude and have it so that he can, like, he'll just do good passes. The whole team will do their passing and running and stuff like that. When you should actually be able to actually individually tell your player, yeah, you need to improve on your shooting, and only you. So, yeah. Players react to signings. For example, too many forwards at a club, you buy another one, and your sub-striker says he wants to leave. I remember this back in PES 2013. It did this when if you were winning too many things, the guy would be like, I want a new challenge, I want to leave the club, or you're not playing me enough, I want to leave the club, and they'd come to you at your desk. It was a bit frustrating, really, but they could probably implement it better than they did like 2 years ago. So yeah, that. A proper introduction for main transfers. Okay, where have all the cutscenes gone? I don't like this cutscene of it being blurred at the beginning and him walking towards the screen. He puts his head down, he closes his eyes, he opens up his eyes and looks up at the camera. It's ridiculously retarded. Go back to having your guy introduce it, have your manager back. That's definitely one of them. Have your manager back to introduce the player to the squad, or he'll do a good job and all that sort of stuff, and basically have that back. And if it's a major transfer, have him kick the ball about like they do when Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Real Madrid and Bale signed for Real Madrid. They did some kippy uppies and whatnot in the Santiago Bernabeu. Of course, not expect the Bernabeu to be back, but stuff like that. So that's a big one for me. Select the team sponsors as well. It's just a little small thing, but it really does sort of add to your own individuality for each series, rather than it just going straight away, yeah, you're going to be doing this for this series. So yeah. Yeah, I'm of course bringing the manager back. I want my own manager. I don't want... They're bringing through licensed managers, so I would give a guess that they're probably going to have it so you can make your own manager, hopefully. No, that's what Adam Batty said. He said there'll be licensed. Well, they said there'll be licensed managers in general. So yeah, licensed managers. So real managers. So create a manager for your Master League. Anyway, new things which I personally want: the ability to swap teams mid-season. Now, I'm not saying you should be able to go from one team to the next team to the next team to the next team in 4 months. It's more like you get to January, they review your position. If you're doing absolutely dreadful, or you're doing such an amazing job that it's just like, yeah, I'm going to win the title anyway, and I'm so bored of my life right now, you could just be able to just leave your club and go and get a better club in like the same day. Like, of course, that's very unrealistic, but for example, Pep Guardiola was absolutely amazing at Barcelona. He was dominating the league completely, and then he didn't get sacked. He left the club because they put a lot of pressure on him as well to succeed every single time, and stuff like that. So if that happened, I'd really like that sort of stuff to bring. Like the chairman's like, you're not doing a good enough job. Either get better or leave, or something like that. Like something a bit cool. Once a player retires, that's it. He won't appear again as a regen. Now, I don't dislike the fact of regens. I like regen. Regens are quite cool, but I want regens to be proper regens, like Football Manager regens, where basically they come through, they might have the potential to be the player they're regenerating from, but if you don't train them properly and don't play them with enough games, they will never reach the potential. So, for example, Francesco Totti retires, and then there's an Italian who comes through in a couple years' time, who's an attacking midfielder who can also play second striker and centre forward, and midfielder, and like centre midfield as well, comes through the youth ranks, and it says like, has the info... In his info it says has the potential to be the new Francesco Totti. So then you know that he's the regen of Francesco Totti. So that's something like that would be quite cool. But if they retire and they went on, let's say, just trying to think of a player. Ryan Giggs. Okay, he's retired now, and he's going to be the assistant manager at Manchester United. That would be quite cool if they actually kept that in the game. I mean, if there's licensed managers, I would give a guess that you'll be licensed. Some players will be licensed as well. So maybe like after Man United, after Louis van Gaal leaves Manchester United, they get in this guy called Ryan Giggs to be their manager. And it would be quite cool if like you got your player and he retired. So let's say Buffon retired and he was Juventus, like not Juventus manager, maybe like Juventus coach or something, so you could actually select your coaches. That would be quite cool. I think that's quite a hard thing to actually implement though, but yeah, so that's always an option. Anyway, moving on, we go on to, like in PES 6, make a team in the mode and allowed to build a legacy from it. So instead of having to start and recreate a team from, like, just randomly take a team and having to edit it yourself and then going into the team and then selecting your custom people at the beginning, when you start the game mode, you should literally be, here's Master League, you should be able to start with the default lineup or start with the original lineup, so the lineup which is real life, or the lineup which is with the not the classic players, the default team players like Minanda and whatnot. And then it should be select a team, or before that, so it should be select a team or create a team. And then the team just gets, either adds on or takes place. I'm sure this is in PES 2013. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's probably in PES 2014, you just can't find it. But yeah, stuff like that. That stuff, I remember doing that back in the day, and that was really good. I remember being able to pick like the likes of Roma. Well, not pick Roma, but be able to choose Roma as a fake team and then actually build the squad from that. I remember being able to, because you could then change the kits, because the kits were licensed back then, and it was a lot more difficult to do. Anyway, moving on. Get the feeling of bringing a player with potential from the youth team to the main starting squad back. That feeling is probably the best thing you can ever feel, and I've not felt it for quite a while in a PES game. At Football Manager, you feel it quite a lot because you're usually bringing through a player who's like 16 years old. You're like, hey, let's see if he has any potential. Oh, he becomes a wonder kid at 18, and you think, oh, he's going to be absolutely amazing. And then he's like your captain at age 24, and then he wants to leave by the age he's like 26 because you've won everything. And you're like, no, don't leave. I have so many stories of Football Manager that I could probably go through and actually be able to be like, oh, this was so heartbreaking for me because this dude left. Because I get so attached to my players, and it's really ridiculous. Yeah, so moving on. Potentially have an infrastructure you can add to, so a scouting network, stadium capacity, etc. Personally, I don't really care for this, but it would be quite cool to have it so that you could actually add like to your stadium capacity and you could actually move stadiums and stuff like that. I mean, I don't expect that to ever actually happen, but it is quite a cool thing. And moving on, with licensed managers, this is a blast one. Hopefully they retire. So after 10 to 15 years, you don't have Louis van Gaal still managing Manchester United. Okay, it's unrealistic. In 10 to 15 years time, the guy will be what? He's like 61 now, so he'll be 71 to 76. I highly doubt he'll still be managing. He might still be managing. I mean, it's very unlikely, but yeah, basically, I don't want to be like playing and 20 years down the line, oh, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal go up against me, and it's just like, for goodness sake, like, come on, man, you should be retiring ages ago. But yeah, that's the last one. So keeping these videos under 10 minutes. And yeah, so if there's anything you want to add personally, go ahead in the comment section below. And I will also be doing one of these videos for MLO, maybe Become a Legend. I don't really know if the people really want Become a Legend. But yeah, so if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.